Okay, good day, everyone. So, this is my recorded video for the activity 4 of module week 2 of mathematics. So, today I will discuss about the 5 problem solving here given. So, let's read the directions. Solve the following problems using factoring patterns of polynomials. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. So let's have number 1. So let's read. The area of a square is quantity 4h squared plus 8h plus 4 square units. Determine the perimeter of the square if h is equal to 9 units. So let's solve. So according to the problem, so we have the given. So we have the given area of the square is equal to quantity 4h squared plus 8h plus 4 square units. So we will determine the perimeter of the square given h equals 9. So how we will do this? So first, we need to go back to the formula in your elementary days. So according to the formula for the area of square, let's have a review first. So area of a square is equals to side times side, or simply put, we have s squared. And then the perimeter or the square is equal to 4 times s, or simply 4s. That is 4 times side. So we will look in the formula of area and perimeter of the square. We have similar terms or similar variable appearing, which is s pertaining to the side. So we need to solve for the s so that we can solve for the perimeter of the square. So let's solve for the s. So before that, let's have a substitution of h equals 9 to the given trinomial of the square. So according to the given, the area of a square is the quantity 4h squared plus 8h plus 4 square units. So we will substitute 9 for the value of h. So we have 4 times the quantity 9 squared plus 8 times h, which is 9, plus 4 square units. Then solving, so we have 4 times 81 plus 8 times 9 is 72 plus 4 square units. Then solving all of this, so we have 4 times 81 is 324 plus 72 plus 4 is 76 square units. Then finally, the area of the square, given that h is equals to 9, is 400 square units. So going back to the formula for the area, so we have here the area of square is s squared. So we already solved the area of the given square, which is 400. 400 equals s squared. So sabi ko kanina, kailangan natin makuha yung value ng s so that we can solve for the given perimeter or the perimeter. So we need to cancel the power of 2 here. So what we are going to do is we will apply the square root. So, square root. So in an equation, kung anong ginawa sa kaliwa, gagawin din sa kanan. So cancel squared and the square root. So natira ay s. The square root of 400 is 20. So meron na tayong value ng s. So we can solve now for the perimeter. So the perimeter of a square is equals to 4s. So s is 20. So we have 4 times 20. So the final answer, the perimeter of the square is equals to 80. Since gumamit siya ng square units sa area, so for the perimeter, we will use 80 units. So 80 units is our final answer. So that is the answer for number 1. So we go back to the module. So number 2, the product of two positive numbers is 60. Find the two numbers if one number is 4 more than the other. So let's go back to our whiteboard. So we are solving for the number 2 problem. So let's have the given. So according to the problem, the product of two numbers, positive numbers, is 60. So let's assume. So let us assume that the first number is x. So first positive number. But there is a given condition in this problem. According to the problem, find the two numbers if one number is 4 more than the other. So if the first number is x, we will let the second number x plus 4, since according to the problem, one number is 4 more than the other. So x plus 4 is our second positive number. All right. So now, since we already have our representation, so let's create our working equation. So let's create our working equation. So according to the problem, the product of two positive numbers is 60. So we'll just multiply it. So we have the first number, x, times the second number, x plus 4 is equals to 60. So our goal here is to find the value of x and substitute it to our x, the first positive number, and x plus 4, the second positive number, since we are finding the two numbers. Okay, so let's apply this. Let's distribute this, multiply. So x times x, we have x squared. X times positive 4, we have positive 4x equals 60. Since we are gearing toward factoring, so we need to transfer 60. Okay, so we have x squared plus 4x using the additive inverse, or simply transferring 60. So from positive, it will become negative 60. And then on the other side, 0. Right? So we need to factor this x squared plus 4x minus 60 equals 0. So let's create parenthesis and equate it to 0. So since our first term is x squared, so this is x. X times x is x squared. So we have the last term, negative 60, and the middle term, 4x. So in our early discussion, in the early topics, there is a relationship between the last term and the middle term of a trinomial in terms of factoring. So we can say here, what are the two numbers that when multiplied is equals to negative 60, but when added equal to positive 4. So negative 60 came from the last term and positive 4 from the middle term. So let's factor negative 60. What are the factors of negative 60? So we have, so it is one positive and one negative. So let's put one positive and one negative. We can say negative 15 times 4. We can also say negative 4 times 15. We can also say negative 10 times 6. And we can also say negative 6 times 10. So all of it, when multiplied, equals to negative 60. So all we have to do is to add it. And we need to get positive 4. So negative 15 plus 4, that would be negative 11. And this is 11. Negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. Negative 6 times 10 is positive 4. So we already have the answer. So we will use negative 6 and positive 10. Since when it is multiplied, it is equal to negative 60, while when it is added, it is equal to 4. So x plus 10 and x minus 6. So the next step, we will equate both binomial to 0. So we have x plus 10 equals 0. And then the other side, x minus 6 equals 0. So our goal in this problem is to find the value of x. So transferring positive 10, leaving x on the left side. So we have x equals negative 10. While on the other side, we have x equals 6. Since the problem requires positive answer, so we will get 6, positive 6. So our answer, x equals 6. So our first number, our first positive number is 6. We cannot use negative 10 as our answer because the problem requires positive answer, since according to the problem, positive number is the one multiplied. So our first positive number is equal to x, which is equal to 6. while our second positive number is x plus 4. So which means x plus 4, substitute x with 6, so 6 plus 4, and that is 10. So by checking, 6 times 10 is equals to 60. 60 equals 60. So that is correct. 10 is 4 more than 6. So positive. Both of them are positive. So our answer is 6 and 10 for number 2 problem. Alright? Next, let's have number 3. So a rectangle has a sides of length x plus 5 centimeter and x minus 3 centimeter. What is x if the area of the rectangle is 48? So hinahanap yung value ng x. May value pa pala yung x, guys. So let's go to the whiteboard. So according to the problem, we have given. So for number 3, given. So according to the problem, the dimensions of the rectangle is given. We have the length, which is, according to the problem, is x plus 5, quantity x plus 5 centimeter, while the width is quantity x minus 3 centimeter, and the area of the rectangle is 48. So we will find for the value of x. So let's have a review first. According to your elementary days, the formula for the area of rectangle is equal to length times width. So substituting the given, so we have area of the rectangle is 48 equals length given by x plus 5 and width given by x minus 3. So using FOIL method, simplify 48 equals FOIL method. So we have x times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Positive 5 times x, we have plus 5x. And positive 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So 48, combining similar terms. So we have x squared, negative 3x plus 5x is positive 2x plus 15. All right, let's continue here. So we have 48 equals x squared plus 2x plus 15. Since we are gearing toward factoring, we need to transfer 48 to the other side, leaving 0 equals x squared plus 2x. Oh, sorry. 15 should be negative. Sorry. It should be negative. Okay. So we have minus 15. Then 48 transferring to the other side, it becomes negative 48. So we can switch sides. So we have x squared plus 2x. Negative 15 minus 48 is negative 63 equals 0. So we already have our trinomial ready for factoring. So we have, since x squared is the first term, so the usual, we have x and x. So notice that the last term is negative 63 and the middle term is positive 2x. So we can say, or the question would be, what numbers when multiplied equals to negative 63, while when added it will yield to positive 2. So let's factor out negative 63. So negative 63, so it will be um, one positive and one negative. Okay, so let's have negative 7 times 9 and negative 9 times 7. So which of the following when added is positive 2? So the answer is negative 7 times 9, since 9 is positive and greater than negative 7. So we will put x plus 9 and x minus 7. So like the given on the number 2, we will equate both sides or both binomial by 0. So we have x plus 9 equals 0, and then x minus 7 equals 0. And then since we are finding for the value of x, so we have x equals, so positive 9 transferring to the other side. So x equals negative 9, while x minus 7 will equal 0 will become x equals 7. The question is, what is the value of x that we will consider for this problem? So the answer is it negative 9 or 7? So the answer is positive 7. Why? We are talking about dimensions of rectangle. So we are talking about distance. And in mathematics, there is no such thing as negative distance. Right? Let us remember that. There is no such thing as negative distance. Alright? So when we encounter problems in distance, like dimensions, we will consider positive answers, because in mathematics, there is no such thing as negative distance. All right. So we are on the number 4. Let's go to the number 4. So let's read the problem. One leg of a right triangle is 3 feet longer than the other leg. The hypotenuse is 15 feet. Find the dimensions of the triangle. Let's go back to our whiteboard. Erase. Thank you for tuning in and I'm watching this video. Okay, so let's solve number 4. So we have a given. The given is hypotenuse equals 15 feet. So when we say hypotenuse in a triangle, that is the longest side. Okay, remember that. Longest side. So our given triangle is a right triangle, meaning one angle is measured 90 degrees. So there is a condition. According here, we will find the dimensions, and the condition is one leg of a right triangle is 3 feet longer than the other leg. So let us assume. So let x be the first leg of the triangle. While since according to the problem, one leg is 3 feet more than the other, so let's assume the other leg is x plus 3. So the second leg of the right triangle. Ayan. So how we will do this? We need a formula pertaining to a triangle, a right triangle. So when we draw, it looks like this. So this is our right angle. Right angle, opposite to it is the hypotenuse. So this is our 15 feet. Let us assume that this is our x and this is our x plus 3. So we need to use Pythagorean theorem to solve for this problem. So it is coined by Pythagoras. So according to Pythagorean theorem, the square of the first leg added to the square of the second leg is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. So meaning, let's use ABC here. So C is our hypotenuse, obviously. Let us assume that X is our A and B is our X plus 3. So substituting, we have A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So our A is X, so quantity X squared, plus B, which is quantity X plus 3 squared, equals C squared. So given 15 squared. So we have X squared plus, so let's have a note here. Note, X plus 3 squared is also equivalent to X plus 3 times X plus 3. And using FOIL method, we will get X squared plus 6X plus 9. So we have X squared plus 6X plus 9 equals 15 squared is 225. So X squared plus X squared, that is 2X squared plus 6X plus 9. Then transfer 225 since we are gearing toward factoring. So negative 225 equals 0. So we need to simplify 9 minus 225. So 2x squared plus 6x. 9 minus 225 is negative 216 equals 0. And we will notice that 2x squared, 6x, and negative 216 can be divided by 2. So we need to divide 2. Anong ginawa mo sa kaliwa, gagawin mo sa kanan because this is an equation. So divide natin by 2. 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared plus 6x divided by 2 is 3x. 216 divided by 2 is negative 108. 0 divided by 2 is still 0. So we need to factor x squared plus 3x minus 108. So let's construct parenthesis equals 0. So again, this is x and x since x squared is our first term. So let us also notice that our last term is negative 108 and our middle term is positive 3x. So we can say what are the numbers when multiplied equals to negative 108 but when added equals to positive 3. So what are the factors of negative 108? So for sure, one is positive and the other is negative. So let's have, it can be negative 12 times 9 or negative 9 times 12. Even though there are many choices, but again, we need to compute for positive 3 when added. So we will use, of course, the second one, negative 9 times 12. Since when it is added, negative 9 plus 12, it will result to positive 3, which satisfies our given trinomial. So x plus 12 and x minus 9. So let us continue here. So we have x plus 12 and quantity x minus 9 equals 0. So like on the other problems, we will equate both by 0. So we have x plus 12 equals 0, and then x minus 9 equals 0. So finding for the value of x, so x equals negative 12, our first value of x, and the other side is x equals 9. So the question is, what value of x we will consider for this problem? So like on the number 3 problem, we will consider the positive answer. So we will get x equals 9. Since again, there is no such thing as negative distance. Okay? So meaning, if x is 9, so our letter A, this side, which is our x, so this would be equal to 9 feet. And then our B, x plus 3, so that would be our x is 9, so 9 plus 3, so our second leg or the other side would be 12 feet. So for our final answer, the dimensions of the triangle, the right triangle, is 9 feet, 12 feet, and the given hypotenuse 15 feet. So this is our final answer. All right? Okay. Last given. Find, so number 5 na tayo guys. Find a binomial that can represent the length of each side of a square. If the square has an area equal to quantity 81x squared plus 18x plus 1 square units. Let's go to our whiteboard. So the given, don't forget the given in every problem. So the area of the square is given by quantity 81x squared plus 18x plus 1 square units. So we have, so we will find for a binomial that can represent the length of each side of a square. So according to the formula, the area of a square is equals to s squared, right? So we have, so we need to find for the value of s. Okay? So how we will do this? Let us take note that the sides of a square is congruent to each other. So meaning, if we have a square, this side is equivalent or congruent to this side, and to this side. So let us take note of that. So we need to get again the value of s in this problem by using the square root. So if we need to use the square root, there must be something squared on the other side so that we can cancel it. So let us factor 81 x squared plus 18x plus 1 equals 0. So substituting for the formula. So area of a square equals s squared. So we can say that 81x squared plus 18x plus 1 equals s squared. Right? So when we factor out 81x squared plus 18x plus 1, so we need to factor this. No? Actually, this one is a perfect square trinomial. So 81x squared, we can use 9x times 9x. No? And we can notice that our last term is 1 and our middle term is positive 18. So since all of it is positive, we can say that this is 1. So let's try to confirm if it is correct. So 9x times 9x using the FOIL method, we have 9x times 9x is 81x squared. 9x times 1 is positive 9x. 1 times 9x is positive 9x. And 1 times 1, we have positive 1. So combining similar terms, 81x squared plus 9x plus 9x is 18 square x plus 1. So bumalik siya sa dati guys. Ibig sabihin tama. We can notice that 9x plus 1 times the quantity 9x plus 1, parehas sila. So we can say that it is also equal to quantity 9x plus 1 squared. So pwede natin palitan tong 81x squared plus 18x plus 1 ng 9x plus 1 squared equals s squared. Since we are finding for the value of s only, a side that can represent, no, a binomial that can represent the side of the given square. So we have cancel squared and square root, squared and square root. So the final answer would be s equals 9x plus 1. Since we are pertaining to the side of the square, so let's use units. So the answer, the binomial that can represent the side of the given square with an area 81x squared plus 18x plus 1 is 9x plus 1. So that's it guys for the activity 4 of module week 2. So see you on my other videos. Thank you and enjoy watching and learn mathematics.